Hi, everybody. It's Jeanette from Own Your Greatness. Thanks for joining me today. I want to bring you a little bit of a different video, and I want to talk about money, money and finances. I wanted to share this with you because I had a conversation, an online conversation with one of my LinkedIn associates, Daniel Sakai. He is a financial planner in California, I believe, and he and I were having an interesting discussion about money and about how most people don't understand how to improve their financial lot in life. So I want to bring you some of the tips that he recommends, as well as the tips that I recommend, so that you can maybe take this as the first step towards you moving towards owning your greatness when it comes to your cash flow, right? So, 8 easy steps. I have them written down as usual. So step number one that I think that you should do, and Daniel also thinks that you should do, is that you should become educated on money. Now, you can become educated on money in many different ways. You can see a financial planner like Daniel, or you can Google, different topics, obviously on your computer or your laptop or your phone. You can go to the library. You can attend free events in your community. A lot of times, financial planners will put on free events to educate people on money. And so you should learn as much as you can possibly absorb when it comes to money. We're all at different places in our financial life. So, wherever you're at in your life, learn what would be the best moves for you to make right there where you're at today in terms of your finances, okay? So learn about money. That's the first tip. The second tip is that people should get insurance, especially, and Daniel and I had this conversation as well, especially when it comes to families. If you're a mom and you have children, you're a single mom, you have children, and something happens to you, well, what's going to happen to the children? It's important for you to have some kind of insurance that will be able to afford the children the lifestyle that they would have if you were present in their lives, okay? A lot of times, couples, I see a lot of couples, on Facebook where it's a couple and they're rocking and rolling and they're having a good time and they're making money and they have money and they live in McMansions and they are living the dream. However, when one of those people in the relationship either has an accident or gets severely ill or dies, then the other partner is left holding the bag of all of the financial debt that they have, everything that they had to do, and sometimes the money is not there because that income earner is now disabled or gone, and you can't just pull that money out of thin air. So it's important, not even important, important's too small of a word. It's imperative for people that have children for them to be insured to the point where their child will not suffer if they pass away. And again, I am not an insurance advisor, although my license allows me to write life insurance policies. I typically don't. I typically refer those out to somebody who has specialized in that area, specialized in that area. So I would recommend that you look and see whether you are insured, and if you are insured, for how much, and figure out, do the math, how long will that last your family? If you're insured for $25,000 and it's you and your spouse and two kids, that $25 is not going to last very, very long. So you might think to up that number, okay? And again, speak to an insurance professional when it comes to that topic. And that is in line with getting educated on money, all right? You need to know how long your money will last, whether you're here or whether you're gone, all right? The other thing is that you should have an emergency fund. All right. They usually say have 3 to 6 months of monies, saved away. And during this COVID time, people have spent a lot of their emergency fund on just keeping the lights on just doing the basics, nothing fun, nothing extravagant, nothing like that. They've tapped into their emergency fund. And they've also tapped into any monies that they had saved for their retirement so that they can keep the lights on and feed the kids and do everything that they had to do in their life. So, now that I'm thinking about emergency funds, I'm like, well, maybe we need to have emergency funds that are more to the tune of like 2 years to get us, through whatever hurdle is going on in the world, such as COVID-19. We're now in September. This craziness has been going on since March. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months. Our 6 month emergency fund is about gone by now. So we should rethink that and maybe up that money. And sidebar to that, if you think that you're not a good saver and you want to practice saving, I can always send you this 52-week money challenge. This is when I used to have my credit repair company and I would do budgeting with my clients. I would want for them to save money. And this is a nice little form that you could see it's from Compliments of Wagner Credit Repair. That was the name of my company. And it's a 52-week challenge. So 52 weeks. Week one, you save $1. Week two, you save $2. Week three, you save $3. So it continues every day. The amount that you're saving goes up by $1 up until you're at week 52, where that week you save $52. At the end of that 52-week money challenge, you will have $1,378. That's a nice little bit of money for you to either invest or for you to put away in your emergency fund. So if you would like this a PDF of this, I can send it to you. Just send me a note through my website in JeanetteAcevedo.com and I will send it to you. All right. So that's some emergency fund. That was number 3 we were talking about. The next one that you should consider doing is you need to lower and or eliminate your debt. Debt is a horrible monster, and the interest rate on debt is astronomical. You think that it's, great. Hey, you know what? I have that flat screen TV, I have that sofa, and it's, 60 months, no interest, and then I start making payments. Well, in 60 months, what is that, 5 years? What is that sofa going to look like in 5 years? Especially if you have kids and they're like, jumping on it and doing all kinds of crazy on it. I would suggest that you lower and eliminate your debt. Your goal is to eliminate it, but you want to lower your debt so that that stress of debt is not upon you. If you can't pay for something cash, then save for it. Make a little envelope where you're putting that extra money in to buy whatever it is that you want to buy and delay that gratification. All right. And that is a challenge for a lot of people because it's really hard to do that, but you can do it. It's about your money. All right. The next thing that you can do is you can increase your income. So you have your job that you're making money. Hopefully you have a job during COVID and you're making money. And now you're like, oh my goodness, how am I going to pay for additional insurance or build my emergency fund or lower my debt, whichever one of these things that you're going to do. How am I going to do that? You're going to have to do it by increasing your income, and you can increase your income by doing side gigs. There's so many ways that you can make extra money to throw at your debt or to put into your savings account. So consider some side gigs. Start thinking about those side gigs of ways that you can make additional money, or maybe even a yard sale. Maybe you just have too much stuff and you can sell some of that stuff. Just don't use the money for yourself. Make sure that you take that money and you save it. All right. The other thing when it comes to generating extra income is a lot of people think that their income tax return, like if you get an income tax return, as if their income tax return is that Uncle Sam is sending you this money of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, whatever thousand amount of dollars that you get at the end of the year, for paying taxes with your employer. That is not Uncle Sam's money. That is actually the overpayment that you made in taxes. So that money has been earning interest for the government during this whole time. Okay, just earning interest of them for them. So they're making your money work for them, and then they're sending you the money that you overpaid, but they are not giving you the interest that they gained from that money. You're not getting 1 cent of interest for that. So in this case, I would recommend that you see a CPA or an accountant and you have that conversation and you say, you know what, every year I get $5,000. I've heard of people getting like $10,000 in an income tax return. And I'm like, wait, what? How do they do that? But let's say you get a huge amount of money for your income tax return. Wouldn't it be better to have part of that money every payday so that you can allocate that money either towards savings or towards lowering debt, or maybe both? You can split it. Let's say maybe it's $50 more, that this change in your income status that you're going to arrange with your CPA or your accountant. Let's say that maybe that brings you $50 every payday in your paycheck extra. Well, take $25 of that money and put it into your savings, and take 25 of that money and put it towards a bill. All right. That's a good way to lower debt. And that's kind of an easy way to make side money, even though it's not side money, it's your money. But again, I am not a CPA or an accountant, so I would advise you to sit with a CPA or an accountant to figure out what deductions you should be claiming so that at the end of the year, you get either a small refund or it's a wash. You don't get a refund because you've gotten your money throughout the calendar year. All right. So the other thing that you should learn about and that you should do is you should grow your wealth. I know that I have a financial planner, and you should have a financial planner as well. Somebody who's advising you and somebody who's looking at your savings and whatever monies you're putting in your 401k or an annuity or a Roth IRA, wherever you're putting your money, somebody who's looking that and saying, you know what, at your age, you can probably put this money here and maybe get more interest. And if it's compound interest, even better. But that's for a financial planner who is an expert in that area to share with you what are the possible arrangements that you can do with your money to make it grow. So you don't want to spend it, you want to grow it, okay? You want your money to work as hard as you do in your job. You want your money to bring in additional money into your finances. All right. The seventh thing that you should do is you should protect your assets, and you should protect how your heirs will receive your assets once you pass away. Okay. So, what I'm talking about there is like a will or a trust or things like that. And again, that's for an attorney that's experienced in wills and trusts to discuss with you. But you don't want your family having to go through probate just to get the assets that you left behind. You want something that's going to be seamless and easier for them. They're already stressed out because you've passed away. They're already stressed out because they don't know what to do with this windfall that they got or they may be getting. And that delay of monies can be time consuming. It can be years depending on where your money is at. So it's imperative for you to make sure that if you have this money and you're doing these things right, that you have a plan in action set down by an attorney who will make sure that it's a seamless process so that your family can get the monies and the assets that they need to carry on without you, because you're not going to be here to take care of them. And it's really going to give them that sense of relief that you thought of everything for them in the event you passed away. And if you're the income earner, do not discount that your stay at home spouse is not important. That person is supremely important because that person is making everything happen at home while you're out there making the money. So make sure that everyone in the family is a part of this, that you've considered everything, and your attorney will be able to help you with that. All right. So now you know you need a financial planner, right? You need a CPA and you need an attorney, okay? So you need people on your team to help you grow from where you're at today to where you would like to be, or what you would like to happen in the event you pass away. We're all going to pass away, so we might as well be prepared. The eighth thing that I'm going to discuss with you is that something that when I was talking with Daniel, it was something that was not in his what he was discussing with his clients. Um, Maybe he was, but maybe he was waiting till later on to discuss it. But in our conversation, we had not discussed it. And I brought it up only because I had a company years ago where I provided credit education and repair. And credit education and credit repair is so important. And people downplay it and they think that people that repair credit repair are shisty. And not all of them are. Some of them are, but not all of them are. Just like in any industry, you're going to have some people that are shisty. So it's important for you to understand your credit and to repair it. Okay. Credit is so important. Bad credit can stop you from getting a job, getting a loan for something that you really need, buying a home as well. They're going to look at your credit to see if you're a responsible person with your money. All right. And in terms of that, when I had my credit repair company, I don't know if you can see that. It's Get the Credit You Deserve. Um, this is a book that I would teach people how to understand their credit and what to do under certain situations if something was going on with their credit. So it covers a lot of topics. This is a sidebar, and yes, this is a sales pitch right here. All right, I'm honest. I have this book on Amazon. If you are interested in purchasing it, you can purchase it and download it, and it talks about a lot of things related to credit, because credit is one of those areas that people are so terrified of. And they're like, what can I do for this, that, or the other? Credit is not repaired overnight. If somebody tells you they can repair it overnight, they're probably lying. Typically, repairing credit, depending on what's on there, it could take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, sometimes longer, because of what's on there. And of course, sometimes when it comes to credit, I don't I don't particularly recommend credit repair. I may recommend that you sit and wait. I may recommend a bankruptcy if that's in line with what you need to do. And I'll give you an example of that in a moment. I may recommend that you do certain kind of banking products in order to build credit. I may just give you what I like to refer to as homework, where I'm telling you, okay, bring these balances here, stop with the late payments, stop applying for credit cards. What is wrong with you? Come on, everything that you're doing is just bringing your credit score down, and you want to bring it up, not down. You want it to go up. The higher, the better. So there was a time that I recommended a bankruptcy to a young lady who came to my office, and she was very young. She was in her 20s, and her credit was really, really bad. And she came to me and she presented me her credit report. She had gotten her credit report and she wanted to see if I would just review it and tell her what I thought. This young lady had had cancer and had no health insurance. On her credit report, she had over $1 million in medical debt related to her treatment, her illness, her treatment, her well care, her everything, because she had no insurance. And, the hospitals have to treat you. They can't like not treat you. Okay. They have to treat you. And so they will treat you. And then they will, if you can't pay, they will send it to a collection company who will then send it to land on your credit reports. All right. So this young lady, it was over $1 million of debt. And it was recent, this was recent stuff, within the last year or so. And I recommended a bankruptcy because I felt that this young lady, it wasn't her fault. She got cancer. This happened to her. And it was unfair that, all of this debt was on her for these treatments, for her care, and it just made her credit tank, and she couldn't do anything. She couldn't get an apartment, she couldn't get a car, she couldn't do anything. She couldn't get a job, she couldn't do anything, and she was better now. And so I recommended bankruptcy, and I recommended it because the bankruptcy will wipe everything clear for her and get her at a zero debt balance. And then from there, I told her what she needed to do to build her credit so that she can then have stellar credit and do anything that she wanted to do. I didn't even charge her for the consultation. It's like, what kind of a cruel person could I be to charge this young, beautiful lady, $300 for a consultation to review all of this paperwork and give her advice that she absolutely should have gotten for free, and I gave it to her for free. So hopefully she took my advice and is living a wonderful life today. I don't know. I never heard from her again. Hopefully, nothing bad ever happened to her and only good things happened to her. So there are times where I would recommend a bankruptcy, but not all the time. Very rarely will I recommend a bankruptcy, and maybe I'll do a series on credit repair here on this channel, credit education and repair, because I am a credit nerd and I like it. Anyway, my name is Jeanette. I'm here with Own Your Greatness. Please don't forget to subscribe. Share this with your friends if they think they should listen to this message. And thank you, Daniel, for having the conversation with me where we were like, yeah, no, blah, blah, blah. I'm a little bit snarky, so he was okay with it. Yikes. Have a great day today. I'll talk to you again in the next video.